Hey everyone, welcome to a new episode of Imagination Megapark. Now, if my voice sounds different, I'm just recovering from a sore throat, but I feel like I've recovered enough to do this video. Anyway, in the last video, I finished off the Frozen Fields area. I think that's a really nice step forward with this beautiful map edge. And with that, we have now completed around half of all the areas in the park, which is of course a really nice step forward, and the finish line is definitely in sight. Anyway, in today's episode I want to work on finishing the science station area. Now this area still has quite a lot of open areas, like here next to the black hole we have a little area over here, and there's several other areas throughout the science station area as well. So yeah, I'm just going to fill those with nice rides and decorations, and of course we're also going to finish off the map edge around here. Now before I do any building, let's go name several more handymen after people who commented on the last Imagination Megapark video. Right here you can see the new handyman of the park, and if you also want to find yourself in the park as a handyman or a mechanic, just leave a fun or interesting comment on this video. Alright, I'm first going to start by constructing a ride in this little area over here, next to one of the entrances to this area. Okay, we now have a pair of dueling motion simulators here. Well, actually it's one motion simulator, but with the tile inspector I copied it to this position over here. So it actually looks like there's two of them, and since they're exactly one and the same, they will also move at exactly the same speed and direction. Now I did increase the capacity of the ride a little bit with the ride vehicle editor. Right now this ride will hold 6 people. Normally it would hold only 8 passengers, but since there's a copy now I increased it to 16. And that should also lower the queue times a bit when the popularity of this ride gets going. Now as you can see right now we have around 5,000 guests in the park, but that's because the option for what's it called? Scenario option. So there's an option for a harder guest generation. It's currently turned on, and I've already checked. And when I turn it off, the soft guest cap will increase to around 9,000 guests. So 4,000 guests extra will stream into the park. So normally I would put underground coasters in the park at the end to increase the number of guests in the park. But I think with 9,000 guests, that should definitely be enough at the end. Alright, with the motion simulator ride built, I will now build a ride here, and this ride will be based on one of Astray Live's tutorials. He's known on YouTube as OpenRT2 Tutorials, and he actually built some nice and easy to build rides in his tutorials. So over here I'm going to try and build one of those rides. Of course I'm going to give it a bit of my own spin, but I think his tutorials are really nice and easy to follow. Alright, here you can see the new UFO Assault ride. Now, once again, thanks a lot for Stray Life for bringing us the tutorial. Now, as I said, I would give it a bit of my own spin, so I actually turned it into a ride in shuttle mode, and at some point in the control track, the vehicles actually hit a dead end, so then they will continue through the track backwards. And then later, there's another dead end, so they go forwards again. Right, just to give the ride a bit of my own spin. I thought this was a nice addition to the ride. Now, this tower design here in the middle, also something I came up with. Yeah, just put another one of these enterprises on top. I think they're always a nice touch for the top of a tower. And yeah, I just tried to make it look circular, like it could actually rotate. Also put some decorations around. You can see some more of these octopuses or aliens. And other than that, just a lot of these space-style decorations. Now, off camera, I also added this little building here. Yeah, it's not actually a functional building. It's just here for show. I think it also adds a nice little bit of decoration to this ride. Now, with this corner now filled in, I want to now focus on this area over here that we still have left to fill out. It's also quite close to an entrance here. I think we can fit a typical classic Himalaya-Round ride here. Alright, here you can see the new Himalaya ride. I called it a black box. Well, I think you can see why. Now, I didn't want to have it be a boring, fully black box. So I actually put some of this black glass on the side. So you can actually see a little bit more of the train while it passes through the track. Now, just like the previous ride, this ride is also in shuttle mode and has some forward and backward sections. So first it goes forwards, then goes backwards, and after that it goes forwards at an even higher speed. So it's quite nice what you can achieve with a shoestring ride in shuttle mode. Now I also put this whole enterprise here in the middle just to make it look like this is something that would be able to make the ride spin, something like that. Yeah, I think that's it for this ride. Now, the next thing I want to do is actually work a bit on these towers here. They just sit here a bit in the middle of the park. And yeah, other than these two thingies on top, they aren't really decorated much. And I think it would be much nicer to actually use these towers to suspend something like a big rocket on the side of them. I think that would look really cool. Quite similar to something that I made in Imagination Megapark. Or, sorry, I mean Dirkling Megapark. So I think I'm going to change these towers into the air-powered vertical coaster ride type. And then I'm going to mount a rocket on the side. Let's go. Alright, the science station now has a big rocket over here. I changed these two towers into a rocket launch facility. Now, of course, it isn't really meant to be realistic, but I tried to make it look nice. Now, here at the bottom, you can actually see these nozzles. I also put some smoke right next to them. The guests can also walk right past this this facility here. I think it's a nice eye catcher for this area of the park. It's a huge rocket, and I think it definitely makes these two towers here look much nicer. Now, sadly, it does block the view of the entrance of the factory a little bit, but from here we can still get a good look at this coaster. Now, what I want to do next is work a bit on this area here. Something which I think will be really fun to have is some hover cars that travel through the city and also in between some of these walking guests here. So I think I will make a station somewhere over here, and then we'll have some vehicles that drive around. Alright, we now have a little repair shop here in the back, which also serves as the station for this hovercar ride. Now I actually made two separate tracks that go all throughout the city, and doing it that way just makes it look like there's more vehicles. I think it looks quite fun. Now these vehicles actually are slower than the walking speed of the guests, so I don't really know what it would add to actually ride one of them. Actually, it would get you in the back side of the city, where everything is a little bit more gritty. Now I also have some bandits walking around in this part of the city. And you can also see I put lots of these little objects. For example, this is the bottom part of a gravestone with the rest invisible. And I placed many of these throughout the city in black and brown, and some other smaller parts of objects as well, just to make it look like there's some dirt and some other debris on the streets. And you can also see some of these hover cars with smoke around, so they might not be all that safe to ride. Also put some dumpsters down in the city. This one even has a hover car inside it. But yeah, with that I just try to add lots of little details throughout the city. I also put more of these posters throughout the city. Just to make it look like everything got a little bit more vandalized. Yeah, overall I think these are some wonderful additions to the city, and they definitely make it look less bland. Now there's one more thing that I want to add to the city, which is a little carousel ride. I think it will be really fun to have a carousel ride where guests ride a set of helicopters around the spire of one of these towers. And that also would give the guests another excuse to enter one of these buildings. Alright, we now have a little helicopter ride at the top of this building. The guests actually queue up below here, and then they get teleported up where they enter the ride. And what's funny is that when they actually exit the ride, guests actually drop all the way down. Now the exit is still over here at the bottom, so mechanics are still able to access the ride. But it's always funny that whenever you place your exit somewhere lower than the original station, guests will still go to the coordinates of the exit, but they will still drop down from the station. So that's what happens here as well. But since it's all inside the building, you won't actually notice it when you view the park. Now, with this all built, I think I've done all the new rides that I wanted to add in the science station area. What I'm going to do now is off camera I will add lots of little details throughout this area just to finish it up. Alright, I did lots of little decorations all throughout this area. The main thing that I actually added was this little tattoo shop here. It's actually just a first aid stall, but it looks like already 37 guests have gotten a tattoo here. Now, other than that, I just went throughout this area and mostly tried to make it look a little bit more dirty, a little bit more gritty. You can see it over here, for example. I added a few more of these other tiles and also some more of these invisible gravestones. Yeah, just to add a little bit more irregularity and just to try to make it look a little bit less clean. And I think that really fits this area. Now we have some more shipping containers here. And yeah, I just went through the entire area and just cleaned up the things that didn't look as finished, and the things that looked finished I made them a little bit more dirty. And with that, yeah, this whole area is now finished, and the only thing that's left to do is the map edge. Now for the map edge, I want to make it look very industrial, so I think there will be lots of pipes, lots of cog wheels, and probably also a few more of these. I think in the end it will look really cool, so best get started on it. Alright, that was several hours of work, but I think it turned out amazing. So here you can see the new map edge. Now just lots more of these metal blocks, but I also put a lot of these pipes in between. And I also used some dinghy slide track to make some pipes that continue all along the edge. And especially these dinghy slide pipes, I'm super happy with those. I didn't plan on adding those originally, but I'm really happy that I chose to do so. I can also see some of these blocks that emit light at some points, some cog wheels in between. And yeah, for this lower section, it's just lots of these metal blocks, also with some of these light emitting elements. And at the bottom, I used some pipes. Yeah, just to extend downwards a bit and to give more of a sensation that the island is floating. But yeah, once again, I'm just super happy with how this turned out. I think it's definitely worth the several hours I spent on making this. Now, with that, the science station is now completed. We will do a tour through the science station, but before I do that, a new patron joined, so I will first add the new patron to the park as an entertainer. Alright, Sela, thank you so much for joining us Patreon, and because you joined us Patreon in Mechanic tier, I'm going to give you your name a special color. Now I asked Sela what color they wanted, but I didn't get a reply. So for now I'll just give you the yellow color, because that's also the color for this for all the rides in this area. And if you want a different color, just let me know. Yeah, thank you so much, Sela, for joining me as a patron. The support is truly appreciated, and I hope you enjoy your spot here in the park, on top of this rocket. Now, if you're watching this video and you also want to support my channel, you can find a link to my Patreon channel in the video description, and the support is really appreciated. Alright, I think it's time to take a tour through the science station area. And we'll start here at the entrance. So here at the entrance, you can see these guard towers here. Some of these military jeeps, which lead to the to this part over here. Here at the entrance, we have this enterprise called G-Spinner, and there's also this teleporting junior coaster, which actually has two reversed vehicles for the last two vehicles of the train. Over here we have Space Invaders, which is a shooting dog ride. You can see all these octopuses here with these targets on them. So those are the targets that the guests have to shoot as they spin around in these vehicles here. So yeah, lots of different scenes, and I decided to leave the roof open so you can actually see inside this ride. Now over here is this ride that I added today, which is the Formation Flight, which is this double motion simulator. Now over here we have the entrance for the for Quantum Clash, which is a dueling reverse freefall coaster. Now something which I added today is these ball lanterns under these beams. I think they give a really nice effect for this ride. It would probably look really cool at night. But yeah, these reverse freefall coasters, it's not a normal reverse freefall coaster. They get launched here, and under here, where it's not actually visible for the viewer, they do a sharp turn, and then here they do a sharp turn again, and then finally they fly up this tower here. You can see them move up here. And after that, they go backwards through the track again. And over here, they do another sharp turn. So actually, there's some merged track here, which caused them to just teleport in the other direction. So for the guests, from the guest perspective, I guess it would just look like they would continue to go straight. Now over here, we have the black hole. There's several rides in here. So there's this rocket roller coaster, which just travels around in space here. We have these space rings rides here, with the track, the vehicles invisible, so it looks like guests are just tumbling around in space. So we actually have two of these here, and there's also this top spin ride here, where you can only still see a small part of the base, which could not be recolored, but the rest has been made invisible. So it just looks like this vehicle is also just floating around in space. Now over here we have this ride with these UFOs, which I also built today. Over here we have this roller coaster, where there's one train below the track and one train above the track. Definitely one of my favorite rides of the park. I think it looks really cool. Over here we have the station for the air balloon ride. This looks like a giant crawler. Let's see these rails which it can move around on. Or at least it looks like it can do that. And on this crawler there's also this crawler wheel. Basically just a Ferris wheel, where the guests have a beautiful view of the stairs. Over here is the Robot Wars arena. So you can see all these vehicles going around on an invisible dodgems track with all these obstacles here. And on both sides there's several guests who have been made like they're holding a remote control. And guests can actually take place here on all these grandstands, which are actually also rides. I think that's also a really cool way to do this. Now over here we have the factory. It's a big dark building, which looks pretty industrial. Here in the entrance we have this Larsen looper. Here is this inverted impulse coaster, which gets launched through the roof of the factory with this really beautiful gradient. I think it's a really cool looking ride. Over here we have these, this G-force centrifuge, and here on the side of the building you can see these go-karts, which actually travel in reverse throughout the layout. It looks pretty weird. Not really sure why. There's the final guest. We should see them leave now. Yeah, probably would be one of the most unsafe rides in the park. Well, maybe not one of the most unsafe rides, but pretty unsafe. Now, in here, of course, is Cyber City, which is a huge cyberpunk city in the edge of this area. Now, there's lots of shops and stalls in this area. There's also several rides which travel throughout it. There's this car ride which travels on a higher level of the city, and there's also these hover cars which actually travel on the lowest part, so they actually move in between the guests as well. There's two separate hover car rides. They both do a different layout through the city. There's also a suspended monorail that also travels throughout the city on a higher level, but still pretty low to the ground, all things considered. And then there's several other rides in the Cyber City as well. Here we have the multi-dimension coaster, which travels all throughout the back part of the city here. It's a pretty big layout. I think it looks super cool. Really happy also with the supports. I just love watching this coaster travel throughout the city. Especially this part is one of my favorite parts of the ride. Now, and other than that, we also have this Conda ride, which sits on top of one of the buildings here. And today I also added this helicopter carousel ride. Now, I may have forgotten a ride or two, because there's just so many, but I think these were most of them at least. Alright, that's going to be it for this video. I will end this video once again with a little cinematic overview. Now, if you liked watching me build in this video, please give this video a like. It would really help out my channel. And please let me know in the comments which one of these rides is your favorite. I'm really curious to know. Now, and if you want to see more videos like these, you can always subscribe to my channel. Alright, that's going to be it for this video. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you again in the next one. See you later.